Hello friends, my name is Fandrol, and today we are back with a video on how to get rid of an account bound item by still making some gold off of them. And that item today is Eitrite Ingots. Once you start playing the Icebrood Saga, you will probably start accumulating these at a pace faster than you can spend them. Especially if you're running around the Bjora Marches daily and are gathering all of the essence chests, or even if you're doing the daily IBS strikes. You can spend these ingots on several things, such as cheaper 32 slot bags, but cheaper still means a couple of hundred gold per bag due to the Runes of Holding, or maybe on the Illuminated Boreal Weapons Collection achievement. But even then, you will likely find yourself with more ingots than you care for. And there is a way to convert these to gold, and that is through crafting the Restored Boreal Weapons. Now these weapons still have a premium compared to the crafting materials they require, and that is probably due to there being some work involved. But it really isn't as scary or as much work as one might be thinking. Each of these restored boreal weapons have about the same components. All of them require 10 Eitrite Ingots and a Berserker's Orichalcum inscription. Next, they all require 2 extra components, depending on the weapon you're crafting. They either require 2 components made out of Orichalcum ingots, or a component made out of Orichalcum and one out of ancient wood, or in the case of bows, a component made out of ancient wood and hardened leather. Now a very important note, it is never worth crafting Eitrite ingots to make these weapons. This is only a strategy to offload the ingots that eventually will end up taking up space in your material storage or bank. So let's take a look at the different prices of these weapons. They all go for about 4 to 5 gold each, depending on whether you look at the buy listing price or the sell listing price. And this also brings me to one of their largest disadvantages. These weapons have a pretty low velocity, meaning they won't sell fast at all if you decide to list them, instead of instantly selling them. Only a few pieces get sold and bought every day, and that is why I personally am okay with sacrificing my optimal profit for instant gold. It still serves my purpose quite well, as I can offload my ingots in a way that is still making me gold, and I'm not risking the weapons being stuck on the trading post for days or weeks if I mess up their prices. In general, it isn't the best trading post advice to instantly sell items, but I treat this case as an exception to the own rules I try to follow. So now that you know what the components are needed and how I choose to sell them, you might be wondering where the work is involved. Well, you'll need to look at a few things. First, you need to have an idea how much of the base components will cost you, which is really easy. It's about 3 gold on average. And second, how many of a specific weapon you will want to craft to offload on the trading post directly. There is no use crafting hundreds of a single weapon only to find out there's only a decent price to sell them at for 10 of those. So we are gonna check each weapon's buy listing individually, and that way you will know exactly how many you need to make and how many you can sell. And that's really all the work there is involved in this. For the time being, this seems to be one of these cases where a lot of players don't want to bother with putting in the effort to go over each weapon individually, and that means that there is still an opportunity to make gold for those who are willing to put in the extra work. If you've been following my channel for the past couple of weeks, you might have checked out my Orichalcum farming routes that you can repeat daily on all of your characters and nets you with about 90 Orichalcum per run. Well, this is where the fruit of that labor might start paying off extra. If you have been farming these consistently, you can actually craft these weapons without having to buy the ore from the trading post. I also have a nice spot or two where you can actually farm vials of powerful blood, much like the 2 videos I posted in the last 2 days for other materials. And I'll try to release that one soon, so you can simply start farming the materials required if you're strapped for gold or resources and you don't want to be buying the ingredients yourself. Now that you're ready to start crafting these, you might realize you can't find any of the recipes in your crafting station, but don't worry. You can buy each recipe for 100 Eternal Ice Shards and 2 gold each from Annette in Bjora Marches or Kiep in the Hall of Monuments. You can gather enough ice shards in a day or 2 by looting all of the chests and mining all of the nodes in the Bjora Marches, or if you clear the Icebrood Saga strikes daily, you'll also get there very fast. And that's about it for this video. I hope this adds another recipe to your growing list on how to offload account bound materials that might look like junk at first. If you have any comments or questions, make sure to leave them down below. If you liked it, please like this video, and your subscription would mean the world to me.